So let me show you how to create a great content brief for your SaaS blog. First, I will show you how to create a content brief template with Through, and then we will automate the creation of this content brief. But before jumping into Through and its content brief generator, let's discuss what is a content brief template and what element you should include, especially for your B2B SaaS blog. So here I have an example of a content brief template, so displaying elements that you could use if you want to create a comprehensive content brief. So obviously the target keyword. Then what I suggest is to define the goal and directive of the content brief, so to explain to your writer why you want to create this piece of content. Tell him also about the search intent, so why people are searching for this term. Also quite important, I guess, is to describe your company, especially if you work with external writers. Also describe the main product feature, who are your buyer persona, and also what could be their customer pain point. I like also to include in my content brief a computer analysis, so basically the list of the top 10 or top 20 pages ranking for this specific term on Google. You can as well include the most common question that people also ask, or any other common question that your audience might ask for this specific search. Obviously, key aspect of your content brief, the title, the description, the slug. Even though the slug is not used by your writer, keep in mind that the content brief is a document that will pass from hand to hand. So even though your writer don't need the slug information, at some point the person editing the content into your CMS might need to know the slug. So I recommend to have the slug, basically the URL of your article, as well in the content brief. You can also mention the format, the tone of voice, word count, etc. The key part of the content brief is the content outline, obviously, listing all the H1, H2, H3s, and indicating to your writer the structure of the content. You can as well list some secondary keywords, also having the links here. So what will be the internal linking you want to apply to this content. And quite important as well, having maybe some subject matter experts feedback. So include some insight from one of your product owner, developer, CEO, or client. So as you can see here, you have a lot of information and a lot of inspiration to create a great content brief. So now let's jump into Through. And before creating a content brief, the first thing we will do is to create a template, because we will reuse the same template for several articles. So important, create first a template. So to create a template, open the content brief menu and click on My Brief Templates. And from here you see this orange button, you can create a new template. On the left, we have all the different elements that you can use. And here you have an area where you can drag any of the elements and start to build your content brief template. All right, so what I like to do is to start with the writer directive element. Basically here you will, this element will list your target keyword. You can also include some notes to your writer, like general notes, like some maybe guidelines or article example. You can also define your audience, the region, where is your public coming from, and here's the search intent. And also what is great when you create a template is that you can provide default text. Keep in mind that we will reuse this template over time for several articles. Your notes might be always the same. So here what you can do, as I said, is to provide some guideline, and this is what we'll do. So here I have my text that I will copy into the content brief template. Okay, so here I have my general note. You see here the objective will be different based on the article, so I just put a TBD, but the rest, the guidelines are always the same, and as well the article example that I want to share stays the same. my audience. Also in this case, if we speak about through, will be SEO and copywriter. So here I can also put my audience as a default text. Region, let's say I'm targeting the US market. And search intent here, I don't recommend to put a default text because based on your target keyword, you will have a different search intent. Okay, so here we have the first element. Now let's put the second one. So if we go back to the template here, we spoke about company description or product feature. So Through doesn't provide specifically an element about company description, but you have something quite useful, is a free text element. So you can basically drop any free text, and here free text is quite obvious, you can enter anything. And also you can have a name here. So here it should be company description. So later on you will see this label will be used in your brief to basically describe the section. So company description, and here I will enter this. So as I said, if you work with external writers, it's quite important to provide maybe some information about your company. Also, if you work for clients, you can also here put some information about your client. Okay, so here I have my company description. Let's add another free text for the product feature. It's also explaining the main product feature to your writer. And as you see, this will be always displayed when you use this specific template, but we will see the content brief creation in a few minutes. Now let's continue. So what you can have, so competitor analysis. So why not? I like to provide some analysis first in my brief. So here you can see you have an element called competitor analysis. So drag it here. So here it's just an example, by the way, just to show you how it will look like in your final brief. So here you cannot do anything, just leave it here. Then what else? People also ask common question. Yeah, why not? Let's put that as well. So here you have the frequent questions. Okay, I drag it here. Also here it's example. You get it later on based on the topic of your brief. You will have the specific people also ask and on-page questions. Also here you can see that some elements you can only add it once on your content brief template. So writer directive, frequent question, competitor analysis. Here you cannot add a second one. Makes no sense. Basically all of them are unique. You cannot add them only once except the free text. The free text you can add unlimited number of free texts in a template. Okay, let's continue. So the key part is the title, description, etc. So here there is also a specific element for that. By the way, as you can see, it takes a lot of space, all this element. What you can as well do is to collapse the view. So here you only see the element you want. So now I want to add the article summary. Let's continue with the outline. So the outline will be the list of headings. So I add the outline, and then maybe the top topics. So top topics are basically secondary keywords that you can suggest your writer to include in the copy. What else? Related searches, top cited sources. Why not top cited sources? Automatically through will fetch from the other article on the SERP the link and the resources they use. And finally, maybe let's add a last one, the CTA. So CTA, again, there is no CTA element, but you can use free text, and here I will expand the view again. And here you can just put maybe some CTAs that you want to have in your copy. I have 4 features, so let's say I have 4 CTAs, and you will see that I will paste here the 4 CTAs. Obviously, there is no 4 CTAs on every copy, maybe just one at the end, but here it's just a placeholder. I will list all the 4 CTAs, but you will see later on when I will create the content brief that I will just keep one. But at least they're all here, and it's just easier for you to do, let's say, to do your job later on. So here you see we have a quite complete template already with a lot of elements. Of course, we could add more. You see this template is quite complete. Also, I will drop a link to this article in the description below, but you have more ideas of elements that you could include: USP, primary competitor, search intent analysis, buying stage of the buying journey, brand on voice, etc. So feel free to add as much element you need in your content brief template. Okay, so now we have created our template. Let's save it. I will call it B2B SaaS blog. Okay, save it. All right, now it's created. So now let's jump to the creation of a brief. Let's click on the brief button. Now I will enter my main topic. So I'm in the context of through, right? Let's say I want to create an article about what is SERP analysis. Okay, so it's a blog post that I want to create. My audience will be USA. So basically here through will analyze the US SERP and get some information that and automatically fill some element of your brief. Okay. Then number of results I want to analyze 10 is okay. And here you can see we can select a template. And we just have in the list the B2B SaaS blog template that we just created. I select this one, and now I will create my brief. So after a few seconds, the brief is created. So here we are now in the interface where you, as SEO strategist, you can start to fill the brief, provide information to your writer. And later on, we will share this brief with our writer, and he will start creating the content. So here you can see on the left the workspace. So all the elements that we basically included in our template previously. So you can see writer directive, company description, product feature, and so on. So the first one, writer directive, you can see it's already pre-filled. It's coming from the template, so quite useful to have default text. Here, the TBD, so I should define the objective of my article. So is to promote the SERP analysis tool. Okay, so we explain why we create this article. The guidelines, as I say, they stay the same. Audience, it's okay. SEO and copywriters, region, USA. Now, the search intent, as I said, search intent is specific to a particular search. So here you can analyze the SERP. By the way, with every content brief, there is a SERP analysis. So you can click here, and it will open a detailed SERP analysis. I'll quickly show you. So here you have a huge SERP analysis with a lot of information. So you can basically get some inspiration about some information to put in your brief. I recommend to also spend some time in the SERP analysis, because then you will understand the search intent. Also, you can get some support from AI. So here you click here, and Through will analyze the SERP for you and suggest a search intent. So here it's saying that the search intent is informational, and then it explains where the user could be in his journey. Okay, so read that and adapt it based on your own research. Company description. So here, nothing to change. It's the default text is displayed, so good. Product feature as well here, nothing to change here. I just keep this one, so I explain to my writers what are the main features of Through. Here you can see the computer analysis. So your writer will have an understanding of who is ranking first, the page rank, which is basically the competitiveness of the website, number of words, number of images. Most frequent questions as well here automatically fetched, so you can see the PAA are displayed, and as well some on-page questions. So Through it's as well extracting questions from headings, and here the most frequent one are displayed. You can also add more questions if you want. You can just check here and yes, select the one you like, remove the one you don't like. Yeah, I remove this one. Okay, so now we are 4 and 4. Article summary. So here's one of the most important parts, obviously, the title. So you can create your title, click here. Here you can have, let's say, examples from your competitor. So here is a meta title from your competitor. You can click on one, adapt it, check the most frequent keywords using titles, or as well you can leverage AI and generate titles. So again, the through will analyze your competitor, and based on that, suggest some title. I will just pick the first one. For the description, it's the same story. So here you can see your competitor. You have the most frequent keywords in the descriptions, and then generate one with AI. Again, here I pick the first one. Obviously, you should spend more time. You should also fine-tune the description. You should fine-tune the titles. But here, it's just to explain how you can easily, in a few minutes and in a few clicks, create a comprehensive brief with Through. The slug, so here maybe I will just use, by default it uses a keyword, but I will just maybe short it and just keep the main keyword here. Target word count, top 3, top 10. Just put what you want. Also having a free text, so here 2,500. The type here, you can leave it empty if you want. You can define it's a blog post. The tone, but the tone can be also in the guidelines at the beginning, so maybe you might not need that. Anyway, leave just the field empty if you don't like them or don't need them, and they won't be displayed to your writer. Okay, now let's say this is the most important part, the outline. Here you should really spend a few minutes, 10, 15, to really craft a great heading structure. So here open the editor, and you will see your competitor here. So you can start analyzing them, picking some title that you like to get some inspiration. You can also jump only to the headings. So here you see all the H1, the H2, and start to collect again headings that you like. The same for the questions, on-page question, PAA. So you have all the information to build a great outline structure. But also what you can do, you can start with AI one. So you can generate from here or from there. Here you have two choices. Either you use only the keyword or from your competitor. I recommend to check your competitor because basically through here we'll analyze the SERP, it will analyze your competitor's headings and suggest a good heading structure. So let's generate one, and here, as I said, through will analyze the headings of your competitor, try to find the most common one, and also come with new angles. So usually let's say the outline are quite good, but my recommendation will be to start with AI one. And by the way, you see the AI one are saved here, so you can also generate many times an outline based on AI, and then just mix and match the AI one with the one from your competitor. So this is my recommendation. Start with AI and then check your competitor, remove what you don't like, and add the stuff that are maybe missing. Okay, obviously you should spend more time than that, but I just show you how it works, and you can save and it will close the view. So okay, our outline is now generated. Top topics here, another element. So here through as well is extracting the most frequent terms found on every articles. So here it can guide your writer of what kind of topics, terms, words you should use in the copy. Okay. You can also add more. Here you have a list of all the top topics, and you can also add any topics like free topics from your list of keywords. Finally, some sources. So automatically fetch from your competitor. And here our last element is CTAs. So here you see I told you I put the 4 but obviously I don't need 4 CTAs. This article will promote the SERP analysis tool of Through. So I will only keep this one. And basically, so I know, I mean, or the editor, the person who will do the final step, who will take the content and create this one in the CMS, will know what kind of CTA to use. And also the writer can also maybe fine-tune the CTA and write it in a better way. All right, so here you can see now all my elements are complete. I'm quite happy with this content brief. And what I can do now, I can share it. I will just change the status to done. So I know this one's done on my side. And now I can share it with my writer. And here you can see I have a public link. So if you share that with your writer or anybody else, he can directly have access without creating an account. So here is really a read-only view. And you can see that as a writer, I have all the information I need, my main topic, the target keyword, the goal of the article, the guidelines that I should follow, the search intent, so I understand why people are searching for this term, and I can also adapt the tone, the style of the article. I understand the company, I understand the features of the company, I understand against whom we are competing, also what could be interesting questions related to this topic, so why not also adding them in the content or maybe answering the questions, So again, it's just about providing the right angle to your writer so he knows how to basically write the content. Here's the important part, the summary, so the title, the description, the slug, the word count, especially if you work with external writers, with freelance, you need to control your budget, and usually they charge per word, so important to have the word count. Here's the outline, so you can also directly, or they can directly copy that to their clipboard and go to Google Doc or Microsoft Doc and start writing their content. Also here, the top topics. And when they click on one, they will even see how it is used in the context of your competitor, so they can also get some inspiration here. The sources, so they can maybe check why, what are these links, and maybe also include some of them in the content. And finally, the CTA, so the writer knows that at the end of the copy, you should write a CTA that goes in this direction. So I hope you enjoyed this video. So now you know everything about how to create a great content brief for your SaaS blog. You know how to create a great template that you can reuse many times with Shrew and generate automatically a lot of content briefs.